Hello, good morning. I thought I'll make a small correction to the previous video that I've named as Mapadani. I slept over the matter and I thought, oh, there's this one little aspect to it. Now, why am I saying this is my work is work in progress, but it's also a documentation of how I became who I am, how I'm doing all of this. Yeah, and I'm work in progress too. I'm like everybody else, I'm ongoingly growing, yeah, becoming better. So what I'm doing here is I'm documenting how I came to be where I am. So as there is, um, it's like Mukambika Raga. Yeah, it's like the sound of water. Yeah, and water is fluid and then forming and then on earth, sustaining life. Yeah. So there's this idea suggested by the Lalita Sahasranama. There are so many other Vedic chants. For example, Kartavirya Arjuna mantra. Yeah. Um, um, oh, what do you call that as? Trayambakam Yajamahe, Mrityunjaya, Mahamrityunjaya mantra. And so there are Ganapati stotra, Savitri mantra, Gayatri mantra. I'm yet to meet Gayatri mantra properly, but we have so many mantras. Yep, because I heard Savitri mantra is there. What we've been calling as Gayatri mantra is actually Savitri mantra. And then it's in the Gayatri verse. So what is the Gayatri verse? I'm yet to meet that text. Yeah. Um, so there are many verses, and they're all it's like a coded language, like we have HTML, like we have English or any language. It's a set of codes in a particular sequence to document a certain idea and then to communicate, yeah, in a particular way with a particular purpose. Yeah. So I've been living life like this. And during the 2 years of the pandemic, I noticed that when I did something, the lockdowns were lifting. Yeah. And that was when I was healing inflammation. I was healing my own self, but then I was also putting myself together in a way, incorporating, I suppose. Yeah. Um, from how so many years I've been facilitating health clinically, and over time I discovered I had the sense that people have been waiting for me. Yeah, that didn't make any sense until I started documenting the different aspects. And then I discovered me, matter and energy and all of this stuff. So I'm just a representation, like the internet came at one point in time, agriculture came at one point in time, money came at one point in time. It's a way of living or an aspect that we didn't know there was this to think about or in terms of. Yeah. A solution which has been in waiting. So I'm documenting this and it's saying, oh, this and this, yeah, and this. So um, so kindly bear with me as I'm making the matter clear, matter and energy and all that there is. Yeah. So so I'm making a small correction to previous video yesterday, Mapadani. Yeah. And that is with the idea of the basics when we say frequency, energy, vibration, and silence, stillness, nothing. And I say little me, the E of little me, I said, has silence, stillness, and nothing. Comes with silence, stillness, and nothing, or the capacity for it. And then over time, meeting coupled with M of little me forms the substance. Then when meets mommy's material, there is a further substantiation of the substance, life substance, and then meets power material, there's further substantiation. That's when the my body, matter of my body, has more substance enough to have what it takes to then thrive, to be a seed in the in life outside the womb. Yeah. And okay, no. To have the substance to take in the material from mommy's YouTube, umbilical cord into the body and then form the human body. To have the substance to form the human body, this conditioning is required. So the matter and energy and then becomes better and better and then has the substance enough to then contain newer information. So that's an information technology where the substance, the state of the matter is getting better. So it's like water, ice, vapor, yeah? Let's just say, and there's also plasma. Yeah, let's just say crystalline fluid, and concrete, crystalline, fluid. Concrete, fluid, crystalline. Yeah, so there's a between these three states there's movement, but there's also the fourth, the plasma, from where there is so it's like force. Yeah, force. Yeah. So our bodily composition is regularly becoming better or not, depending on how screwed we are. Yeah. So it could be all like this and then concreted into particular ways and not quite thinking or able to think anything other than that. Or we could be crystalline and having a lot of hallucination, imagination, but don't know how to contain our imagination. So it could be going a little overboard. Or it is so fluid that it's all flowy, but can't quite the concrete of the matter and the crystalline of the matter and the plasma of the matter is not able to be accommodated as well. So it's a little too, like this, like water, a little there. Needs to have a little substance. Yeah. So we could be in any of these four states. Having a little too much of it, we could be even spaced out. Yeah. You could also say astral travel and all of that, maybe from the plasma of it. So not quite containing the matter without having to go into astral travels to have the substance well enough that you don't need magic. Just living itself is magic. Yeah. So that's what I'm calling as the conscience, the clarity of this dot, where you can just be like Earth. You don't have to fly around anywhere. You just have to be Earth and just do the Earth work, which is more like dosa battering. Just keep digesting, metabolizing, and food keeps coming, and you keep digesting and making more produce. For example, over time, life evolved, and then human beings formed, and so information technology. You just keep doing your job. You just healthier metabolism and living. Yeah, information. You just you eat food and then information happening and then you're developing products and the products are like human beings, life forms and different ideas and thoughts. And yeah. So in living life, yeah, best out of it's not waste. Best out of what there is. This world is my cocoon. Yeah, it's more like my kitchen. Yeah, we got lots of material on the shelves. Yeah. So we say shelf life. Yeah. So we just take this, cook and make stuff, and then, and then I dish it out like this. Yeah. Okay. So I try it out myself, see how much it works. This works, this doesn't work. It's like a recipe. This and this goes together, but it's not, there's some further processes before then, that is how I arrived at. There's recipes for you to be able to understand how to be me or be Earth-like. Yeah, there are some further details required. Otherwise, we are like other planets. Yeah. Not quite gotten the recipe together yet. Now, me. Yeah. The E that I call as sa, when I say mapadani, so sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, and then sa again. Yeah. Sa is back into the E, energy of it. So we are regularly upgrading. Yeah. So that we say scintillating octaves. So the next octave, when we say Ashtanga Yoga or when we say Ashtalakshmi, we would like to get healthy, wealthy, wise. So to get there, we need to get to the 8, Ashtalakshmi. Let's just say 8 goals. When we have 8 goals in place, which is also represented by the first circle in the Sri Chakra, it has 8 triangles. Yeah. So we already come with 8 goals. So we may or may not have recognized what our 8 goals is, which is why it's called Ashtalakshmi. Yeah. And then there are, consistent with each goal, there are currencies of exchange. We'll come to all that. We will cover that. Yeah. But we have the idea of the Ashtadigbandhana. I've mentioned about it in yesterday's video. Yeah. So there is a certain schema by which to then document these 8 goals. Yeah. We'll come to that. But meanwhile, E comes to 8, being profitable. Yeah. Is when you touch the 8 octave. Otherwise, you're going, between the 7, you're not quite growing up. Like in terms of sacred geometry, there are these seven circles in the first seed of life. Yeah. And then from there, growing up requires you to come to the 8. And the 8 is again the first circle. And then the same continues. The same process continues. Now, for E comes with nothing, at least. Yeah. And then according to the substance of nothing, yeah, like I said, we're all a chip of the old block. Yeah. From the universe. We come from the universe. So we come with nothing. And as we meet this different layers, 10 layers I mentioned from the dot, from the dot. Okay, so in my conscience, please go to my video which says my conscience. I'll make a comprehensive one so it becomes easier to understand this, yeah, little by little. So from the dot, there are 10 layers, 10 spheres of influence. Yeah. So meeting Mama Papa is also you're meeting other than me. Me, you're meeting other than me. And as we are meeting different people, different substances, from nothing, there's a certain, let's just say, a vibration, depending on what has encountered you. For example, energy meeting matter. My partner, matter and energy. If we consider that I'm basically energy, and then my body substantiates as I meet my partner, by which I have the substance enough to become matter over time. So there's a certain vibration, frequency, energy, vibration, a form of. Now, stillness has a meaning when something is other than moving, which means something has moved, and then there is this idea of stillness. So from nothing, stillness gets a meaning. And then when there is something that moves and that is other than, not too big, maybe just light something. So stillness has a meaning. And I find there are 6 layers to it, 6 levels to it, at least. Yeah, because we have multiplications from there. Yeah. So when there is stillness, there is silence. In the sense, silence as in reference to sound. Yeah. So in the movie Titanic, Rose says, outside she was all elite. Yeah. But inside she was screaming, which means in silence, she was screaming. The silence has a lot of things going on. Yeah. And then I find there are at least 6 levels of silence. Yeah. So as we meet different levels, spheres of influence, stillness, silence gets a meaning. Yeah. Or a certain weave that forms our body. And then, so E meets me, E meets M, energy meets matter. And that's when frequency, energy, vibration has a meaning. Yeah. But more than that, stillness and silence has a meaning. And from there, frequency, energy, vibration has a meaning. So that's where me, little me, when forms a substance enough as not just energy, but also matter forming substance, that's when it comes to basics: frequency, energy, vibration, silence, stillness, nothing. From there, from this basics, when meets mama's material in the ovary, that's when there is further information, development of the substance, the story, the weave, that is our personal make, the blueprint, or rather, the story has a little more substance, a little blue, the truth of the matter, yeah, is one way to look at it, yeah. And then, well, I also say this is an architecture, a building, a house is built from a blueprint. So where would this be? Where would that be a certain thing? And then the blueprint is not the house. You still have to substantiate it. And then, this wall in this particular color, in this particular texture and fabric, then that makes the house better. And then over time, you iteratively improve. And then there is what makes it a particular kind of an effect. When you look at it, you need to have a certain affect. That's not immediately available in the blueprint. So it's as you develop that the masterpiece forms. And then, is it just a masterpiece? Is it something on the like on the shelf? It's beautiful, so nice. It could be a museum piece. Or It could be a working life. The masterpiece it's not just masterpiece, but it's also master PEACE. Yeah. So world peace and all that. Yeah. So much becomes possible. Really nice. And living life in the multiverse and all that. Yeah. So how to do that requires us to get our basics, uh, the details, the alphabets, the numbers, the vectors. Yeah. Oh boy, it's a lot of things. So we have alphabets, numbers, vectors, and then the lot of basics. Yeah. Levels of basics. Slowly we'll cover. The board is full of words. Yeah. But there's also signs and symbols and many sounds. Yeah. And it's in English. So I got to also be able to speak in other languages, which makes it interesting. Which is why I have the universal language of love. Yeah. So when I speak in terms of parsing these words, like N and O and tech and all of these words, in a way that you can use these words into your own language. So you're saying in Kannada, and that still makes sense in terms of the universal language of love or the universal language of life. Yeah. Then it becomes easier for you to get the substance together. Yeah. Form your stories, and then you would still be in living life in the multiverse because it's a human concern. Our language is formed over a lot of time. And life is what life and love and all that there is, but it has not been really figured out. Yeah. So I will start talking in terms of the alphabets and the numbers and the vectors. Yeah. How I see things. Yeah. So when we say 4, we have 1 line and 2 line and then 3 line. And it's called 4. Yeah. It's got 3 lines and it's called 4. Yeah. So 3 is half 2 semicircles. Yeah. At a point. Yeah. Now, not point, it's more like the U in a C form, only it is not C like this, but like this. Yeah. So there is alphabets in numbers. So it becomes interesting. Yeah. So when you look at life, and when you look at your, say, your numbers, your accounts, and your codes and different things, you'll start seeing there's another thing going on here. Yeah. And then you'll be able to figure things out. And you can, of course, make somehow constructs, because that would also depend on the kind of wounds you have, the healing that needs to happen, the breathing you're not doing, because you maybe have gotten a little concreted or fluid or crystalline or plasmid. Yeah. And so you don't quite know. And so you see things from one perspective, from a, say, a concreted perspective, and not seeing there is other than that. And so you have the pros and cons, provided this, and then, so you don't know this conditionals. Yeah. So there is the right way to do things, the right way to put things together. So we'll come to the engineering, the fine details. So it's not engineering, let's just say the biology. I call it mighty, meristem intelligence. Yeah. On how to sustainably, beautifully grow in such a way that you're paying attention to yourself and things around you, and then growing in such a way that you're not at risk, others are not at risk, future generations are not at risk. Yeah. So I call it meristem intelligence. We'll come to the details of it. Yeah. So here we will just pause with the, yeah, stop with the idea of the basics on E. And then I'll start making notes on the alphabets. Thank you so much for your patience. Oh, right. Healthy natural breathing, short form videos, 60-second videos. So it becomes easier for you to breathe healthy and naturally. While I'm talking about all of this, it becomes easier to improve your metabolism, because you need to metabolize the information, also the food you eat. So information is happening. Yeah. You're incorporating the material in such a way that there is no clashes. And if there is clashes, the clashes are resolving, because that is important. Otherwise, you would have indigestion, or you could have incomprehensibility, or you get cookied into, okay, cookied is either you get crystallized and you have your own hallucinations, or you get concreted. If there's a thought, oh, you could already have concretes on top of which I would be saying something. So this goes and layers on top of the concrete. And then you say, this is that. Yeah. And then you could be stuck on that and not ask questions until the next set of information comes and you say, that's not how it is. Yeah. And then you have another thing. Healthier metabolism healthy and natural breathing helps to start having the space be a little more breathable, livable. Yeah. So all of this makes more sense. Yeah. Information technology, but it's also how to be a shishu, how to be a student of life, a lifelong student of life, not just become a guru and then become your, cookied, heavy matter, not able to talk to another, which is also how I say kind of like humanity across boundaries. We have a lot of walls from all the concrete, yeah, the heavy stuff, and then we put it together and then we call my world, your world, humanity across boundaries, cookied, yeah, hearts closed in a certain way or form little concretes. Since some time, and then we don't know the fluid, the crystalline, the plasma of it. So like other planets, yeah, a little bit formed, a little bit, but not quite having that what it takes to be like life. So we're already on Earth, yeah, and we are living life, and we have some aspects of the technology of no technology, and we are yet to figure out the other bit, yeah. So we haven't become like Earth, yeah. So I've come fast, like they say, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So I've come this fast, because I've been working with different kinds of people too. So I got here now to get where everybody is becoming healthy, wealthy, wise, which is what the Sri Chakra is talking about. We need to work together. So I'm informing you on how I'm doing things. So you will also be able to put things together, and then we song and dance. Okay, we get our stuff together, and we go beyond WHO system diseases. And then we are talking the universal language of life, which is when we would see more life and living in the multiverse. Yeah. What becomes possible from no technology. Yeah. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this has been of value to you. Good day.